on, guys? Greg Farris back here with part 5 of my video series. Today I'm going to break down my push routine for you guys. Again, if you haven't watched the upper and lower version of this series here, I recommend you go do that. Again, this is just me kind of breaking down my split if you're not familiar with the other videos. My 5-3-1 hypertrophy, how I've been training for the past about 3 months, and how I plan to train for quite a while. So I am going to talk about my push routine, which is also my overhead press routine. Again, go watch the other videos if you haven't. And with that being said, guys, let's get into it. So again, you see here, it is my push workout after my upper and lower days. I like to put push on my usually Thursdays for me because it is probably my weakest body part, that being chest anyways. So I like to have a day off. Again, I've talked about this in other videos. Kind of tailor this to however your needs are. So if your weak spot is legs, I recommend maybe having your lower day as the first thing you start your split with or whatever. Tailor it to your needs. But so I do have push as kind of my second cycle after my upper lower off, and then it starts push. The emphasis here is overhead press in the 5-3-1 program, so that's always the first movement I'm doing. And just to clarify for you guys, everything here will be chest, delt, and tricep oriented. Again, all your push muscles pretty much, that's where that comes from. So again, just going to tell you guys pretty much the differences between the strength days and the hypertrophy days. Pretty similar to how my bench press and my squats are. With the second movement I do, or 1B like I like to call it, is the overhead press. Again, boring but big kind of fashion. On strength days, 5x5 at 80% of 1 rep max, and on hypertrophy days, 5 sets of 10 at 60% of the 1 rep max. So always starting off with at least 8 sets of the overhead press before I get to the rest of my workout. And again, that is the key of all of my program, is progressing in those 4 lifts. But then everything else is important, and then as you kind of go down the board, things become less and less important, right? So the second movement is the same in a sense. You see here just chest press for both of these. Typically is a flat movement for me. Like I have down here, an example here would be flat dumbbell, and then this would be a hammer strength flat press. Again, you can do an incline here if you'd like, but I feel like delts take quite a pounding from the overhead press, and I tend to feel a little bit better chest stimulation from a flat press anyways. But you know, if you wanted to go barbell here on the strength days, that would work too as well. I get a ton of barbell pressing on my upper day, so I like to get some flat in here. The volume here is pretty high, 4 to 5 sets of 4 to 6 reps. Again, you'll see that kind of rep range with all of my strength secondary movements. And then hypertrophy, a little bit less volume, 3 to 4 sets at 8 to 12 reps. But again, second movement here, so I'm still really trying to progress in strength with those 2 movements. And then the third movement, things really kind of switch up. So I'll just go through the strength, and then I'll go through hypertrophy and kind of take you through the differences. So the third movement here on strength are weighted dips. So I kind of use that as another chest movement. Obviously you're using your triceps and your shoulders as well. But I feel like I get a pretty good chest activation from weighted dips as well, especially because I really try to focus on getting a proper lean and really trying to focus on pressing with my chest as well. So I don't do too much high volume on that. It is kind of taxing on your elbows and your joints or whatnot, especially when you start to use, weighted, 50, 60, 70 pound dumbbells. But I do a little bit, 2 to 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps. I feel like that's suffice there. Again, there's also getting quite a bit of stimulation on your triceps as well. The fourth movement, just a lateral. So this is typically a dumbbell lateral as opposed to a cable, which I would use on a hypertrophy day. 3 to 4 sets of 6 to 10 reps. That's kind of high volume for me in an isolation movement. That's pretty much the only, laterals, overhead presses, and face pulls are really the only true shoulder movements that I do. So I typically just pick a few and go higher volume with the shoulder movements. Fifth movement here is a chest fly. Again, a little bit higher volume on a isolation movement than I typically do, but again, chest being my weak point, I need to hit a little more volume. The rep range there is still moderately heavy for an isolation movement, 6 to 10 reps, and this is usually a flat fly as well. So you could use machines here, pec deck, dumbbell fly, cable fly, whatever you kind of prefer is what I'd recommend there. The sixth movement is tricep pushdown. This is usually a straight bar or a cambered bar. just because I go a little bit heavier on my strength days. Again, not a lot of volume here. It's 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 10. I feel like triceps get quite a bit of work in the rest of my days anyway. Then go over here to the hypertrophy day. You know, pretty similar stuff. The laterals, these are usually cables, but 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 15. Again, chest fly, same thing, 3 to 4 sets, 10 to 15. These chest fly movements don't really change as far as, you know, one that I use on a hypertrophy day and one that I use on a strength day. I really just pick one that I like and go for it for a while. I also do a press down here for the triceps, 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 15. This would probably more likely be a rope push down on a hypertrophy day as opposed to on the strength day, maybe a straight bar, cambered bar, V-bar, something that could use a little more weight there. This I can, you know, actually hit the, actually pronate at the bottom of it and hit the tricep a little bit differently. And the other movement, I don't have this in my strength week, is an overhead tricep movement. Again, 2 to 3 sets at 8 to 12. I like to do like a single arm dumbbell extension here. Again, get some isolateral work in there. You could also do like a modified skull crusher, you know, the rope overhead extension, you know, 2-arm overhead extension, pretty much anything you'd like. So that's pretty much it for comparing the routine, guys. Like I said, make sure you tailor this to however you need it. Me being, you know, I need to work on my chest quite a bit. It's important for me to get a little bit more chest workout on my push days. So after my overhead press days, it's really focused on how I can progressively overload in the chest movements. And then I also do, you know, some shoulder work, some tricep work, but not as important. So this is really tailored for my needs, but I feel like you can pretty much adjust this however you like. And that's pretty much it, guys. So if you like these videos, make sure you like it. Have any questions or comments for me, make sure you leave them in the comment box below. Make sure you go and like my Farris for Fitness page on Facebook, and I'll talk to you guys later.